Hey, Zudorug here with the third and final part of my review of the 1/60th scale perfect grade 00 riser. I've already done all the size comparisons, the posability, the colors, the accessories, so I'm going to skip past all that and we're going to get straight into the transformation. So the first step for the transformation is we're going to want to prepare the 00 Gundam itself. The only things that absolutely have to come off are these shoulder dagger things. These have to come off for the transformation to happen. You can leave those blades on his waist, but getting them off does make the transformation and getting everything situated a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and get those off. Then on his back, there's a panel here you need to pull down. And this panel folds up and pushes forward to stick into place. Cat hair not included. That pretty much gets the 00 Gundam itself ready for the transformation. Getting the O-Riser ready works pretty much the same as the 00 Gundam itself, just getting all the accessories off, so I went ahead and did that. So now we can move on to the transformation itself. So to start things off, take the binders here on the sides. Let's tilt this up a little bit. And you stop jiggling around. So just take the binders here on the sides and just pull them off, provided the whole thing doesn't just come apart. Again, just pull it off. Then take this big section here, pull it back, angle it down, and that'll free up this section for you to bring it down all the way to the bottom like that. Just get everything folded out as much as it can. Get these flaps out of the way, and then I also like to just spread these apart a little bit. Take this blue tab, pull, and just flares all those out just to make them look a little bit different than the regular mode. Right, so to actually combine them, this huge post is going to go into that port on his back. Then these flaps with these tabs go into these slots on his backpack, and that actually holds them in place. As you can see, he is now very back heavy, so kind of have to lean him forward and then move him back so I have room to operate. And for the binders themselves, just kind of flare these out of the way. Take this long section here, swing it out a little bit, take these two arms, swing them out to the side, and then bring this down the rest of the way, hopefully without them getting completely out of whack. Again, do the same on this side. Bring these down, bring these out, bring it down the rest of the way. And then these mount onto the GN drive binders. And so to do that, there are these curved posts here, or curved tabs. If I can bring this huge guy forward. And there are matching curved slots right here and right here. If I can get everything facing the camera. There, now you can actually see the curved slot. So then the tabs just go into those slots. Pardon me if the visibility isn't perfect. This guy is the biggest thing I have ever worked with, so forgive me. And we come to this side. Again, those same slots, tabs, just put them together, press them in, get him to where he'll stand. I like to angle these in just a bit. And sometimes I've seen these pressed down just to change things up from the vehicle mode. That, in essence, is the combined 1/60th scale 00 riser. There are a few other things I want to go ahead and cover before we end the video, so I'm going to go ahead and put his swords back on, because those just go back on exactly as they went before, right here. Alright, here he is with the majority of his regular accessories, the sword, the two swords, and all the missiles back on him. As you can see, those can all sit very nicely. Of course, the large missile pods aren't on there, and that's because his large dagger things can instead go on the binders for the O-Riser, as I believe I showed you in the part covering the O-Riser. Just bring this tab down. I like to fold this up, and then this tab will go into one of these two large slots here. It's kind of hard to show everything since this guy is just so big. I'm just going to go ahead and get the other dagger on. If you'll excuse me. And you can have the daggers either collapsed or extended. I personally like to have them extended. And then, of course, what is arguably his most famous accessory for the entire model kit, that being the big sword that I showed you earlier. If you remember, when I showed it to you before, it was like this, but the blade can fold back up like that, and he can, in fact, equip the weapon. Getting him to do so is slightly frustrating, because one thing that I realized I should have done earlier is bring the shoulder out one click. So let's just get everything swung forward so I can get the arm out one position and then put it back. Now, how it goes in is kind of tricky. First, you have to get the handle into his hand. So, just open up the fingers a little bit. Not sure how well I'm going to be able to demonstrate this on camera, considering how far away it is. So, just get this in there. And of course, there is the usual mounting slot that goes onto the tab in the palm of his hand, long as everything lines up, it will go in just like that, and close the fingers up around it. Sorry, I'm not really paying too much attention to the camera, so I'm not sure how well you can all actually see this. Now it kind of looks like a briefcase thing. And then here in the back, don't do that. Let me just get the binders up out of the way. There is a slot right here, big tab right there. So just swing all this back. Make sure there's not stuff getting in everything else's way. And then make sure the tab lines up with that slot. As you can see, this is somewhat irritating. Ah, got it. Whew. That was a bit more stressful than usual. And again, everything is on camera. But if he'll stand, there he is with the sword now in his grip. And now he is leaning heavily to one side. All of his posability I've shown you throughout the review is still there. It's just a lot more encumbered now. We just kind of fold that out of the way and then bring the arm forward. Of course, the blade can still fold out. Kind of got to pick him up to fold it all the way out. And as you can see, it gives him a very long sword. Again, it annoys me that it's this weird teal green on camera. But while I've got him like this, there is one last final accessory that goes with this guy. This huge piece, or two halves, of bright pink plastic, well, translucent pink plastic. And if you have seen the anime, you know what that does, or what it is. So just get the arm up, hoping it actually stays in place, which it obviously is not going to. If anyone has any tips on how to strengthen that shoulder joint, I would be most appreciative. It's going to be difficult to show you how to attach this, but to start simply, all you really need to do is just slide it on top of the blade, just like that. And then there are these 4 large tabs that go into these slots here. It's kind of tricky to make sure everything lines up properly. Because it doesn't. In fact, it rarely likes to all line up properly. But that time it managed to do so. But now it is far too heavy for him to hold up. As you can see, it is absolutely massive. It creates quite the display if you can actually keep his arm up. Let's see if I can get it off now without tearing the blade apart. Now, if you will excuse me, I will get him back into a regular standing position, and then I will be back. That is the entirety of my review of the 1/60th scale perfect grade 00 riser. And good God, was it a chore to get through. The model is incredible. The kit was quite fun to build. Took me roughly 45 hours, give or take, to finish. It looks incredible, especially after panel lining, though I'm sure it would look better when panel lined by a professional who actually knows what the hell he's doing. But besides all that, the model is incredible. It is extremely expensive, extremely hard to handle, extremely heavy, extremely finicky. But as long as you can get it into a position that it will actually hold, it looks amazing. Be sure to check me out on Patreon and throw me just $1 or $2. It would really help for me to be able to continue to do these reviews, as I am running dry on figures to review. But with that said, that finishes up the review, so until next time, bye-bye.